This is Voices in the Stone.
Episode 5. There are moments when prayer becomes dangerous, when faith is no longer shelter but accusation, when a single word from Rome or a king's sealed letter can turn holy ground into enemy territory. In this valley, belief once protected men. Then it condemned them. This is the century when Dudley's monks learned that silence could be mistaken for rebellion, that obedience could look like treason, that survival itself could become a kind of sin. This is the story of when God and kings stopped speaking the same language. For centuries, the Church was the spine of England. It crowned kings, buried queens, collected taxes, forgave murderers, controlled memory. Then, in the 16th century, one man decided God had chosen the wrong authority. Henry VIII, king, Catholic, defender of the faith, and soon, enemy of Rome. His crime was not theological. It was personal. A marriage denied, an heir demanded, a pope who refused to bend. So Henry broke the church instead. Rome responded with its oldest weapon, excommunication, not metaphor, not insult, spiritual erasure. A king declared outside God's grace, his soul unprotected, his rule illegitimate. In medieval belief, this was worse than death. Henry answered with law, acts of supremacy, parliamentary ink replacing divine authority. England would now obey the crown or be destroyed by it. Monasteries were loyal to Rome. Their vows tied them to the Pope. Their prayers named him daily. Their wealth made them tempting. Their independence made them dangerous. To Henry's government, they were foreign agents, hoarders of land, breeding grounds of disobedience. The monasteries did not revolt. They did not march. They did not resist. They prayed, and that was enough to condemn them. At Dudley Priory, the bells still rang. Matins still came before dawn. Fields were still worked. Charters still copied. But rumours entered with travellers. Monasteries closed in London. Abbeys stripped in the south. Monks arrested. Some executed. Some vanished. Royal commissioners moved from town to town, counting, measuring, judging. Faith had become a liability. Men arrived with seals and documents, not swords, clerks, lawyers, royal visitors. They asked questions. How many monks? How much land? How much silver? How much loyalty? Monks answered truthfully, because lying was sin, because obedience was habit. They did not yet understand. The questions were not for information. They were for justification. Reports accused monasteries of corruption. Laziness, sexual sin, false miracles. Some charges were true, many were exaggerated, some invented. Evidence mattered less than narrative. The story was already written. Monks were parasites, their prayers useless, their lands wasted, their loyalty dangerous. At Dudley, the prior gathered his brothers. A decision had arrived, disguised as a question. Swear loyalty to the king as head of the church, or be dissolved. Swearing meant breaking vows. Refusing meant prison. Or worse. Some monasteries resisted. Their leaders were hanged, drawn, quartered. Others submitted. Their habits exchanged for pensions. Their lives dismantled politely. We do not know Dudley's debate. We only know the ending. In the late 1530s, Dudley Priory was closed. Not burned, not stormed, inventoried, chalices listed, books recorded, fields measured, stone valued. The monks were dispersed. Some received small pensions, some became parish priests, some disappeared into cities, some returned to families who barely remembered them. The bells were silenced. The choir ended mid-century. 800 years of rhythm. Stopped. Above them, Dudley Castle remained, Its owners adjusted loyalties, swore to the king, kept their land. Knights survived by bending. Monks had sworn never to bend, and were broken by it. Libraries scattered, manuscripts sold as scrap, graves disturbed, altars dismantled, stone reused for farm walls, houses, roads, the sacred repurposed into the ordinary. Not destroyed, erased, quietly, efficiently, legally. Imagine one of them, old now, living in a rented room, hands once raised in blessing, now shaking with age. No bells, no brothers, no rule. He wakes before dawn out of habit, prays in silence, not because he must, but because he does not know how not to. The world has moved on, he has not. Fields become workshops, streams become channels for industry, the priory becomes ruin, stone collapses, walls are robbed, the valley learns new sounds, hammers, forges, engines, smoke replaces incense, work replaces prayer, time measured not in bells, but wages. The castle remains a symbol. Tourists climb its steps, read names carved in stone. The monks are footnotes, anonymous, their history compressed into a sentence. Dissolved under Henry VIII, no voices, no faces, no echoes officially recorded, only stone and absence. Stand where the choir once stood, where voices rose before sunrise, where breath became prayer. Nothing marks the spot, no plaque names them. Yet the ground is different here, softer, uneasy, as if memory still shifts beneath the surface. They did not die in war. They did not fall in battle. They were administrated out of existence, by signatures, by seals, by obedience. In the final episode, the story does not end with silence. It changes shape. Ruin becomes foundation, prayer becomes industry, stone becomes machine, and memory becomes a question, from monks to furnaces, from vows to wages, from sacred ground to the modern world. This has been Voices in the Stone.